What's up, everybody? It's Pallet Town Smeargle here again, one more time with another Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle for you. Sorry, the autofocus is going a little nuts. There we go. Finally fixed itself. Okay, so we got a battle here with my good friend RJ, or as he calls himself, ELITESWAG. His Twitter link will be in the description below. You guys should follow him. He's a good guy. He's pretty funny. Catch him on Snapchat too. I think the details will be that might be down there as well. I'm gonna talk to him, see if that's all right. But let's do a little quick team preview here. So I wanted to use a team with Smeargle. Go figure, he's the mascot, he should get a little airtime, right? Yeah! So we got Smeargle, he's your standard. I didn't have a chance to do anything kind of crazy with this team, but he's your standard lead Smeargle with the Focus Sash, Sticky Web, Stealth Rock, Spikes, and I think Spore. I couldn't remember if it was Spore or Dark Void, but it's definitely Spore. Which, looking at RG's team, when we started, I wish I had gone with Dark Void because that Ferrothorn is a hard counter to that Spore. But I also am rocking the Specs, Sylveon, Choice Specs Sylveon with Hyper Voice, Shadow Ball, Side Shot, and Hidden Power Fire. Choice Scarf Mamoswine with Freeze Dry, Ice Shard, Freeze Dry, Icicle Crash, Rock Slide, and Earthquake. The Freeze Dry is there because I really didn't have anything on my team to take out water types and then that's not going to be an issue in this battle, but also I thought it was kind of neat to have Freeze Dry on there because it still hits things pretty hard, even though it's a special type move. Mamoswine doesn't have the special attack. If we're up against something that's that is a water type, like it allows Mamoswine to actually hit Rotom washes, things like that. He doesn't become instantly crippled if there's a water type, and let's say he gets Will-O-Wisp. We have our Mega Latios. It was a Pokemon I had never used before, so thought we'd give it a try. Mega Latios with Earthquake, Psyshock, Draco Meteor or Dragon Pulse, I can't remember which, and Thunderbolt. And then Conkeldurr with... Actually, we have Fire Punch on Conkeldurr, which comes in Fire Punch, Drain Punch, Rock Punch, and Knockoff. I went for the Fire Punch to the Ice Punch, which would be Ice coverage on Mamoswine. And then our Scizor, which is Boost, Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, and U-Turn, I believe. And then we look up at RJ's team, he's got Raikou. I don't know what any of his items are, but he's got Raikou, Latios, Thundurus, Ferrothorn, Charizard, and Mienshao. So this is going to prove to be a pretty good competitive match. So let's get right into it. So ELITESWAG RJ's issuing that challenge, and he goes ahead and leads off with his Mienshao as I lead off with my Smeargle Brocasso. That's because it's just standard lead. Like if you have a Smeargle on the team, like you want to lead off with it. But because I'm fearing the fake out, I go ahead and switch out to my Scizor Clamps. This is nice and Futurama reference, but switch out because I knew that Fake Out was coming, and Fake Out's going to break my Focus Sash, and that just kind of cripples Smeargle. And I knew Clamps could be able to take it relatively well, and we actually get healed back up to full HP with our leftovers recovery. So he withdraws the Mienshao and goes out into his Charizard, and I should have seen this coming and just double switched out, but I go for a Swords Dance here for whatever reason, and then I have to switch out, which kind of sucks because I have to switch out after getting set up. And then I go into Latios because I figure looking at his team, this is probably a Mega Charizard X, which it is, because he probably doesn't want Mega Charizard Y in there with a Ferrothorn. Like, that just doesn't make sense. So we got the Mega Evolution to Mega Charizard X, and I've got Latios over here. And he uses a Flare Blitz, which is good because I resist that. I kind of predicted the Fire-type move there with Scizor being in, and I knew we could resist that. But he gets a crit, which is kind of nice for us because it does knock him down, a lot of that health down. And I know I can Mega Evolve and outspeed. I knew I outspeed right away. So I go ahead and Mega Evolve, nice and shiny. I got this off of, I think I got this off of the GTS a while ago, so I know this is probably illegal. So I go for the Draco Meteor and take out his Charizard. And by legal, I mean it's probably not legit. I don't know how many shiny Latias there actually are running around. out there. So we take Draco Meteor, takes it out, we drop our special attack, and he goes out to Ferrothorn. I know I have Earthquake, but I don't have much to actually hit this thing with hard, so, and I don't want to take a Power Whip or something, so I go out into Omnom, my Mamoswine, and he goes and sets some Stealth Rocks. This pretty much means that that's going to suck, because it's going to break our stash, it's going to probably take down our Latios, and he swaps out knowing the Earthquake is coming, and goes out into Raikou, which is strange that he goes out into Raikou when he knows I could run Earthquake. I don't know, maybe he thought I was going to go for the Ice-type move, but I got really lucky here with that kind of switch. I really don't know what he was thinking at this point, but, you know, Raikou's going to go down, which is unfortunate for him, but good for us. And he's going to go out into Landorus, and unfortunately at this point I have to reveal that I'm choiced because I have to switch out here. So, I switch out, and go on out to my Latios, just to kind of eat up an Earthquake, and we're going to get Stealth Rock damage, which actually isn't going to take us out. I was actually planning on sacking this thing off, and just making that Earthquake null and void anyways, but he withdraws Landorus, and since I figured, well, I'm in here, I'm going to go for something, so I go ahead and go for another Draco Meteor here, I believe. Yes, I do go for a Draco Meteor, and that's going to hit that Ferrothorn nicely, but, you know, it does resist, so it's not going to do awesome damage, but it does just a little bit under half, which is going to drop our special attack, and it's going to reveal that he has leftovers, which is kind of something I also wanted to see whether or not he had, if he was like the standard Rocky Helmet set. So Latias is going to come back in and kind of save that thing for Death Fodder, and so I got to Brocasso here because at this point with Stealth Rocks up, this is pretty much Death Fodder at this point, but he fires off a Leech Seed, which is kind of nice, because that lets us kind of set in. I don't care if this thing gets a lot of its health back, I have ways of dealing with it later, so I know this thing, we're not going to be able to take a Power Whip or a Gyro Ball or anything like that, so I have to decide what is the best entry hazards to set up, and when he switches out, which is nice for us, because we're going to get one more out. He goes out to Mienshao, which kind of does stink. But I go ahead and set up Sticky Web because I figure dropping speeds on things is going to be important, especially if I get in there with a Mienshao. If this thing is like, I don't know if Mienshao gets Mach Punch, but if it does, it does. So, and I swap out Brocasso here because I don't want this thing getting Leech Seed Recovery, and I know it's going to hit hard. So I go out to Clamps. It's going to take a little bit of Stealth Rock damage, and probably take another Fake Out. But he actually goes for High Jump Kick. I would have just gone for Fake Out. Like, if you have Fake Out, you go for Fake Out. But he goes for High Jump Kick, which is really good. Maybe he predicted me to go out to Clamps. And so I go ahead and go for Bullet Punch, just trying to get damage off on this thing. Because if he goes for another High Jump Kick, I'm dead. And he actually goes for Hidden Power. I'm not really sure what he was going for here. Maybe it was a misclick, because it's not very effective on us. So, unless he predicted another switch, I'm not sure. So he withdraws Mienshao, because he knows he can't live another Bullet Punch to get a Regenerator off. He's going to go out to Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn's caught in Sticky Web, not like it matters, because it's not like this thing is super fast, but I go for a Bullet Punch, which is going to take some damage off from the Iron Barbs. It's going to, you know, be a little chip damage off on this thing, but yeah, it wasn't, I don't know, I should have just predicted the switch and gone for a Swords Dance, but I really thought he was going to high jump, try to high jump kick me again, predicting, you know, I don't know, I over-predicted a little bit. And so, I just go ahead and get a Roost off here, because I know I can live pretty much anything that this thing wants to do, so I go ahead and get a lot of my HP back. And he goes for Gyro Ball. I'm not max speed, so this shouldn't do a whole lot. Yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot because it's resisted, and I'm not max speed. I'm running no EVs in speed on this thing. So we both get our lefties recovery, and he goes ahead and switches out. As I think I go for a Swords Dance here just to set up, because I knew this thing wasn't going to do much to me. Mienshao gets caught in Sticky Web, and yeah, I go for a Swords Dance here because I know I can, this is my opportunity to try to set up the sweep and just get, and if not sweep, at least knock a couple of these pokes out. Because I know if that Ferrothorn ever comes back in, I can just set up to +6, but unfortunately I don't think I get that opportunity in this battle. And he goes for Fake Out, which is understandable, and I just go for Bullet Punch there because I know if I hit this thing with a Bullet Punch now, it's gonna die. Because that's a dead man shell across the head. Even if I get a low roll, it'll be a 2-hit KO. And I don't think another high jump kick would take him out. But we do take it out with one bullet punch, which is really nice. Because maybe he could have crit us with a high roll crit. High jump kick, which would have been terrible. So he goes up to his own Latios here. And goes for a Draco Meteor. Honestly surprised he did not go for Flamethrower or Fire Blast or something. That Draco Meteor does a lot. And it's kind of nice it drops its special attack. And we do get to see this thing as Life Orb. So I go for a +2 U-turn here because I know that's going to do a decent amount of damage. And it actually takes out this Latios. I did not expect that at all. I knew it was going to be super effective +2. I thought we'd take it down to like 20%, but we took it down. We took it all the way out. So I go out here in Brocasso just to maybe try to get Stealth Rocks up. But he goes out to Landorus, and so I know there's no chance we're gonna get our Stealth Rocks up here against this thing. So I actually just go for Spore, just in case his... I thought he was gonna go for Earthquake, but I went for Spore, and I kind of wish that Stone Edge would have missed, because that would have been nice to put this thing to sleep. But, so I go out into my Mamoswine here. He's gonna take some Stealth Rock damage, and I just go for the safe Icicle Crash. I think he knows that I'm going for an Ice move, so he withdraws his Landorus, and goes out into Ferrothorn. So now we're going to play this game here, which kind of sucks. So it's caught in the Sticky Web, again, not like it matters, because there's not many things that's going to outspeed a Choice Scarf Mamoswine. Unless that Landorus is Choice Scarfed, it's not going to outspeed. So Icicle Crash does a good amount, but it is a crit. And right here I'm kind of debating with myself whether or not I'm going to stay in and go for Icicle Crash and keep going and try to get flinches, but I decided that's not good. Because this thing can hit me with a Gyro Ball and just crush us. So I go out into Latios here as Death Fodder just to see what he's going to try to go for. And kind of burn a move here. He goes for Leech Seed, so it would have been okay to stay in with Mamoswine and go for another Icicle Crash. Like, we could have been alright getting seeded and getting this thing kind of down. So I go out into Conkeldurr here because I know this thing is not going to level Fire Punch. It means not expecting me to have Fire Punch on this thing. So I'm okay taking some Iron Barbs damage for knocking this troublesome thing out. Yeah, like I said, I'm totally okay with. We want this Ferrothorn gone. This thing was a problem from the very beginning, and I'm glad that Conkeldurr here was able to take it out. So he intimidates Conkeldurr, which is okay. So I swap out. I probably should have just stayed in and gone for a knockoff at that point, but I go out to Clamps as Death Fodder here because I want to see if he's Choice Scarfed. So he goes for Earthquake. And takes Clamps out because I also didn't think Conkeldurr could live in Earthquake from the Landers because there was a chance it was Choice Banded, but looking at his team, it was all based on power. So I'm still kind of thinking this thing might be Choice Banded, so it's not going to outspeed my Mamoswine, Mr. Om Nom Nom, but he is Choice Scarfed and Earthquakes, and that's just going to take us out. That crit definitely, I don't think that crit mattered because of the two Stone Edge switches, or not Stone Edge, Stealth Rock switches. So I go out to Conkeldurr here, and get a little stealth. He gets some Stealth Rock damage off on me, and that's kind of painful. So he goes for Earthquake, and we live it, which I'm so mad about right now because he could have just stayed in with this thing and gotten a nice knockoff off on this. And knocked off his Choice Scarf, which would have meant that Mamoswine would have done nice damage. So I just go for a Mach Punch because I know we're dead. Sorry about that, my phone just rang in the background, hopefully didn't pick up. But he goes ahead and knocks out my Conkeldurr with his Earthquake, which kind of stinks because we definitely could have just taken this thing out. So I go out to Bowtie here, which is our Shiny Sylveon, and I just go for the Pixelated Hyper Voice. I just cross my fingers and hope and pray that we can live at Earthquake. And we do. We live on 37 and go for a Hyper Voice. We live on like 15%. Go for a Hyper Voice and kind of finish this thing off. In retrospect, kind of letting that Latios get way down in health and not having something else that's immune to an Earthquake was bad with having two Pokemon that are weak to it, being Mamoswine and, I mean, Scizor isn't really weak to it, but like it's not going to appreciate an Earthquake. And having Brocasso, who's just frail enough as it is. So that was an issue with our team, but we're glad we pulled out with the narrow the narrow 2-0 or 1-0 victory that we did. So good job, RJ. Check out his Twitter link in the description below. Follow me on Twitter. The link will be down there as well. Like if you liked this and you want to see some more, go ahead and subscribe. You know, check out anything else we're going to have on the channel. We're going to have some new stuff coming up this weekend, so look for that. Check out RJ's Snapchat. Link will be down there, or at least his Snapchat name will be down there as well for his story. If he says that's alright to put down there. But all that being said, this is Pallet Town Smeargle signing out.